Hello everybody, today we're going to take a look at the top 5 bluest congressional districts in the country. These are the 5 that gave Kamala Harris her highest percentage. Now in a past video we did look at the 5 bluest places, but those were pretty much counties including DC. So let's start here with the 5th bluest congressional district. This is going to be out in California. We've got the 12th district, and this is right outside of San Francisco. This is going to include well-known super blue places such as Oakland and Berkeley. And there's a mini map here on the right that shows you the shape of the district and its proximate location. So in addition to this, we'll also be taking a look at the demographics and the recent results. So this district used to be held by Barbara Lee, but now she's the mayor of Oakland. Now the representative here is Latifah Simon, and we've got a median household income here of over 100K. So as most people know, it's a fairly wealthy area. Now we've got everybody's favorite, it's the racial breakdown. We've got white at about 33%, Hispanic at 24%, Asian 21%, and black 15%. So that is a pretty good racial mix. If you want the Cook PVI rating here, it's D plus 39. That's pretty significant. So let's go down here and see what the recent results were. We're going to focus on president here. Now Harris won this district by a massive landslide, 85% to 11. That's with the number rounded. She's at about 84.5. So incredibly blue territory to say the least. But for a little bit of comparison, in the regular U.S. Senate election, Adam Schiff did even a little bit better. He pulled an 88% to Steve Garvey's 12. Now, if you go back further, there's going to be some boundary changes due to redistricting. But in 2020, Biden got 89% to Trump's 9. In 2016, it was even worse for Trump. He was at 6, Hillary Clinton at 88%. And before that, in 2012, not a whole lot better with Mitt Romney against Barack Obama. Obama at 91 to Romney's 9. Let's also see what we've got going on in the U.S. House. Here's the last few results. Well, in 24, unsurprisingly, it's so blue that there's 2 Democrats in the general election. California uses the top 2 primary system, so that's not really all that helpful if you're looking to compare Democrat to Republican. But in the prior election in 22, Barbara Lee won by a massive 90%. She's at 90.5. And then before that, we had 2 Democrats in 2020. So there are 4 places that are even bluer than this. But so far, this is the bluest place in California and good enough for number 5. Let's go to number 4. This is on the opposite side of the country. This is in Georgia. This is the 5th district. And it's not going to be too hard to figure out. This has most of Atlanta and Fulton County. There's a little bit outside of that, but that's the bulk of it. Now, this is also the old John Lewis district, but currently it's held by Democrat Nikema Williams. The median household income here is lower than Oakland. It's at $84,000. The racial breakdown is just about half black, 31% white, 10% Hispanic, and 5% Asian. Cook PVI has it at D plus 36. Let's see what we've got going on in the recent elections. Well, for Harris, it was also just under 85%, but rounded up, she's at 85, Trump at 14. So roughly a 71% margin. And you can see how that stacks up to other statewide elections. For governor in 22, they voted for Stacey Abrams by 70%. For president in 2020, Biden was at 86 to Trump's 13. And in 16, Hillary Clinton was at 84 to Trump's 13. In 12, Obama had 83, Romney had 17. So a few points of fluctuation over the years, along with some of the boundary changes in some of those prior elections. But what do you expect? This is the 4th bluest district. It's going to be overwhelmingly supportive of Harris. Now let's go down here and see what we've got in the recent House results. Nikema Williams just barely better than Harris, 85.7. It was even a little closer in 22 where she was at 82.5. Before that, redistricting is going to be a factor. So that's where we're at for number 4. Let's do number 3. This is going to be in Maryland. We've got the 4th Congressional District, and this is going to be right outside of DC, the actual bluest place in the country from the previous video. You can see it almost actually hugs DC as it goes around the district. And your representative here is going to be Glenn Ivey. The median household income here is at $84,585. It's a majority black population at 55%, Hispanic 25%, white is under 11%, and Asian is over 5%. And it also has an occupational breakdown here. We've got 70% white collar, 15% blue collar, and 14% gray collar. Cook PVI labels this district at D plus 39. Let's see what we've got in the recent elections. In this one, Harris actually was right at 85%, Trump at 12%. In the Senate election, in which Larry Hogan vastly outperformed Trump in the state overall, he did do better here, but it wasn't by a ton. Angela Alsobrooks won it with 82% to Hogan's 17%. For president in 2020, Biden was at 89, Trump was at 9. So that shows in 24, Harris did do a few points worse than Biden in 20. When Governor Larry Hogan won re-election in 2018, of course he still lost this district in a landslide, but he did get 26% of the vote to Ben Jealous' 73. In 2016, Hillary Clinton was at 89, Trump was at 7. And in 2012, Obama 92, Romney 8. And let's see what we've got here in the House results. In 2024, Glenn Ivey was at 88.4. That is better than Harris. In 22, he was even better at 90%. Then before that, there was redistricting, but Anthony Brown was at just under 80%. So very, very blue stuff, but we've still got 2 left. Number 2 is going to be back on the opposite end of the country. We're in the Northwest, and this is Washington's 7th. And no surprise, this is going to cover much of Seattle. At this map at the top right, the Seattle boundaries are going to be highlighted in red. So it misses a part of it right here, but the rest of the congressional district covers a little bit to the north and to the south. So the representative here is going to be Pramila Jayapal. The median household income here is pretty high. It's at $123,000, so it's very wealthy. We've got a white population at 62.5, Asian 14.4, Hispanic 9.5. 2 or more races is at 7%, and black is at about 5. Cook PVI puts it at D plus 39. Not a big shock, this is one of the bluer districts out there. Well, here it's loaded with recent statewide results. Harris at 85%, Trump at 11. Again, those numbers are rounded, but Harris a little bit better than number 3. If you compare this to the other statewide results, in some of the other races, the Democrat did a little bit better than Harris, and Trump's 11% is the lowest out of every one of these other candidates. Commissioner of Public Lands was the closest, but even that was still won by the Democrat with 79%. In 2020, it was very similar to 24. Biden was at 86, Trump 11. In 16, Hillary Clinton 83, Trump again at 11%. And in 2012, Obama 83, Romney 17. So Romney doing a little bit worse here than Harris, and Romney doing a little bit better than Trump. Let's go back here and see what we've got for the recent results. Well, we've got Jayapal at 84%. It's actually just a little bit worse than Harris. The Republican there at about 16. In 2022, Jayapal was up to 85%, and in 2020, she was down just slightly to 83. So there is one more district that's bluer than all 4 of these. It's not a bad guess if you said somewhere outside of DC again. This time, it's actually going to be in a swing state. It's Pennsylvania. This is the 3rd district, and this is going to be in the Philadelphia area. Again, this map here highlights the boundary of Philadelphia, and this district covers a big chunk of the western part. The U.S. rep here is Dwight Evans. The median household income here is the lowest out of all 5 of these districts. It's at $63,678. The black population here is right at 50%. White is at 33. 2 or more races, and Hispanic is at about 7.5, and Asian is at about 6.5. Cook PVI puts this at D plus 40. So what happened here in the last election? Well, with the numbers rounded, Harris is all the way up to 88%. Trump is at 11. That's a 77% margin for Harris. In the Senate race, it's the same margin. Bob Casey is at 87%. So this is an absolute blue tsunami. For president in 2020, Biden was at 90% here, Trump at 9. So Harris did take a bit of a dip here. In 16, Hillary Clinton was also at 90%, Trump at 8. And in 12, Obama, even better than that, at 92%, Romney again at 8. Now, even in these extremely blue districts, a 1 or 2 or maybe 3-point margin could still have an impact on the statewide results. And if that kind of a swing happens in a very blue district, it could be a lot bigger in a more purple district. So let's see what we've got here for the recent results in the House. Well, Dwight Evans got 95% here. Clearly, that's better than Harris. The Republican there, not even at 5%. In 2020, it was a little bit closer. He was at 91%. Now, they don't have 2020 listed right here, but Dwight Evans was unopposed in that general election. With some write-in votes, he was over 99%. So that is the bluest congressional district. Going into this, I wasn't expecting Philadelphia to be the absolute bluest district, but it is. If you want to take a look at the national congressional map with these 5 districts highlighted, it's right here. It's hard to find them on here because these are generally smaller districts in urban centers. But we've got number 1 here, right in the Philadelphia area. Then the Maryland district right outside of DC is located here. Here's the Atlanta district in Georgia. Then out in California, the Oakland district is right here. Then of course we've got Seattle in the Northwest. It's going to be right here. So what do these 5 districts have in common? Well, again, outside of them being urban centers, generally there's higher income and usually a good chunk of black voters. But the big takeaway is that you'd be hard pressed to find a handful of Republicans in any of these places. It's generally true that Harris did do a little bit worse there than Biden, and Trump did do a bit better than he did in 2020. But when you're talking about 70 or 80 point margins, a 2 or 3 point narrowing is not necessarily that flashy. But a lot of politics is all about the margins. And these are the 5 places that were the bluest for Kamala Harris. So let me know in the comments. We'll take a look at the 5 reddest in a future video. But for now, let me know in the comments. What do you think of any of these 5 districts? Were you able to guess 2 or 3 of them going in? Maybe you had another few that just missed the cut. But is it worthwhile trying to find any commonality with these 5 districts? And what do you think about the demographics and the margins and what it could mean for future elections? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to help support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.